mean, okay, Mike, just starting with you because you mentioned just as we're starting off that Bo, I've interviewed Bo, I think during lockdown, um, and he talks about you guys and UTFO and I think Kanguki had not just he just before he passed, so he was just talking about the family. But from your point of view, how did you said you were 8 when they moved in? So these three big
Yes,
brothers joined it, moved into the neighborhood. What was that
yeah.
like?
They moved into the neighborhood, and my first meeting with Bo Legaloo, he challenged me into the robot. If you remember the robot,
Yeah.
it's so it's before breakdancing. It's when Michael Jackson used to do the robot,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and he had
yeah.
dance. Yeah. And so that's where I learned it from, watching Michael Jackson. And so the way I met Bo Legaloo, he walked up to me and said, "Someone said you were good at the robot," and he challenged me. And he was
Wow.
like 4 years older than me too. But that's where we actually met. And then from then on, I started hanging out with him and his brothers. Beefine was the closest to me in age, so
Mhm.
we hung out the most. And we played everything. We played football, basketball. We played all the kids' games growing up. And so when they were putting together a band, it was always my love, from early seeing Michael Jackson and Jackson 5 and seeing James Brown when I was 5, to be in a band. So when they started putting together a band, they said, "Yo, Mike, you want to join us?" I was like, "Oh, this is going to be great." So they taught me all the ropes about putting together a band and being in a band and practicing and doing shows and everything. I learned all of that from them.
Okay. I mean, how did you get into your percussions? Because I think for those and when Lisa and Culture, when you guys came out back in the 80s, I was going to boarding school in Nigeria, and everyone had to use the desk to try and do the did
Yeah.
it. So so
Yeah.
but how did you learn the percussions? I mean, when,
Wow. During their rehearsals, I would play drums. Um, I just found that I was good at it. I was good at keeping rhythm, keeping time, and then uh, well, to be in the band, I had to play an instrument. So I had my mom for Christmas buy me a set of kungas. So I had my first set of kungas, and I was practicing kungas and practicing drums. Sometimes B-Fine would get off the drums, and he would do things out in front with the two brothers. So I would play drums, and then when he got back on drums, I go back to kungas. So yeah, I grew up learning to play, those percussion instruments. Yeah,
okay.
and then of course in
Go
school,
ahead. Mhm.
in school, in junior high school and high school, I played in the bands in junior high school and high school. I learned more stuff, learning to play, learning to read in school and everything. So yeah, it was just a childhood of playing lots of percussion, lots of drums, and it was in my heart. I loved it. I loved it. Yeah.
Okay, so at that time, was the idea to become a band just, I mean, how many of you could I know that were there cousins around, or was it just you
Right,
and
right. We formed a band, and we were playing, block parties. The summertime they have block parties, and it was just uh the two cousins, Jerry Jr., Kurt, B Fine, and me. And so we were practicing, and the two older brothers, would occasionally stop in and see what we sounded like, because they were like, "Well, if you guys sound good enough, you guys can back us, we could do shows." And so we practiced and practiced more. And then the two brothers joined us, and that was the first creation of Full Force. So I was actually one of the members of Full Force from the very beginning. I was a
okay.
seventh member. Um, and then we started doing shows all over town. We opened up for bands like GQ and Crown Heights Affair, in Brooklyn. And then they met a manager named Steve Salem and said, "Okay, I'm gonna get you guys a recording contract. You guys got to get serious, and we're gonna have to let the kid go." So I was dropped from the band by their manager.
Aw. He said,
Yeah,
let
let the kid go.
Oh,
So,
why was that?
well, I guess they felt like I wasn't serious enough. I was a kid. I was the youngest, and I was running around still.
Okay.
So they just felt I wasn't serious enough. So
But were
they
you
dropped me from
when
it.
you look back though, just reflecting back, do you think you weren't as committed at that time?
I was, I was, but by the time they started the recording contract, I think I was 13, 14. So yeah,
Okay.
you were really young.
yeah, yeah. So I was really young. So, but I mean, I still work with the band. I was a roadie. I played with them on stage. So I mean, I was still a member. I was still, you know, a seventh member of the group. Through their record contracts and everything. So that's why I always had first look at everything that they were doing, everything that they were producing. I was always around. I was always there for it. I was always learning. So that's why when I got my opportunity, when they wrote "I Wonder If I Take You Home" and said we want to put a female out singing this song, I was like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna put a band together, and could you make that our song?" And so that's why they gave me first dibs at doing that. So
Okay.
I was able
Okay.
to put together a band, and that's how "I Wonder If I Take You Home" and "CultJam" came about.
Okay. So, I mean, so how did you meet up? Alex hasn't, well, how did you meet up with Alex?
Well, by that time I was in high school. I was a senior in high school, and that summer or right before summer, I used to leave school early and go up to Baruch College. It's a college in Manhattan, and they had the greatest parties at this college. Great parties, and so we used to leave school early and go to these parties and party with the college kids. And one of the guys DJing the party was a friend of ours. And he used to DJ and we used to rap for him. And he used to DJ. And while I was there, a friend of his named Alex, I saw him playing piano in the piano room. They had a piano room in the college. And I walked in, I watched this guy playing piano with girls around him. He was, playing jazz and all this stuff. I said, wow, this guy's great.
Sounds
I
like
put
a
together, I put together a band. I want this guy to be in my band. And this is before the song came. This is before they all happened. I just had it in my mind that if I ever put together a band, this is the guy I want. So I think it was probably maybe 6 months or 8 months later that they hit me with this song and that they said they were going to do this. So I already had Alex in my mind. So it was meant to be. It really was meant to be that I met him, and that I kept that in my mind. So I called him up and I said, "Hey, I'm putting together a band. Full Force has this song. Would you be interested?" It was like humming and hollering because he was playing with the band already.
Mm,
He was playing with a band with a guitar player named Vernon Reed, and that band ended up being Living Color.
okay.
But Alex was the bass player for Living Color.
Wow.
But at the time they were on hiatus. Vernon was going on tour and playing with other people. So I said, "Alex, come and play with us. Let's record this song." He said, "Okay, let's see what you got." I said, "Okay, I need a singer."
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that category.
And somewhere in between
us for even loving us, on which I did miss you really.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a pieces.
trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No. Okay, you're okay.
They don't understand what Jonas' voice winning all spirits.
Play it.
And all these guys, they all work together.
I mean, I love all different genres.